Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Contractors Cloud webinar. If you'd be so kind, I think we have chat enabled for our webinar today. If you want to drop into the chat, if you are hearing me and seeing us just fine, I'm joined by the lovely Mike Campa this afternoon.
Hello.
But we definitely want to make sure that we're not just talking to ourselves. So I think I enabled the chat. If I didn't do that, you can definitely let us know through the Q&A that you can see us. All right, I see some Q&A.
Yeah,
See in here,
looks.
chat is to say, boy, I still. All right, thank you, Christina, Bridget,
Yes.
Janelle. Very helpful. Let me see real quick if I can. Yeah, all right. Somehow I'm failing on the chat option. All right, I tried. I will go back to the drawing board. Oh, there it is. That setting did work. Thanks, Brandy. Chat is working now.
Excellent.
All right, wow. Way to go. Try to keep us from messing up. If messing up chat's the worst we do today, Mike, we're doing all right.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to share my screen now so you can see my slides. Welcome to this webinar for Contractors Cloud. Today's main topic is Project Portal, and then we are also going to take a heavy look on Stratus and what's going on with that. We have some really exciting news and some great things to look at today. So definitely excited to have everyone with us to ride along for all of this. This is our second webinar. Mike and I did one back, I believe, in May on Zapier. That's on our blog and also on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out and learn more about Zapier. As you came in, you might have heard the message Zoom always drops in, but we are recording this. We will post this to our blog tomorrow. So if you want to take vigorous, detailed notes, you can, but you can watch this back at your leisure. Pause your favorite parts, do a screen clip if Mike and I are making terrible faces. Any of those things work. We are covering, as outlined, our new project portal. We have some great things to utilize with that. We've just released that up to production for Stratus today. And so a lot to look through there. Then we also are going to cover what's coming with Stratus over the next few months. We definitely have some big milestones being crossed and a number of features that have made it into the product, and also a look at something that's coming inside the next month that is definitely a very big feature add to Stratus. If you have questions, as Mike and I are talking and co-hosting, we will help each other man the chat. If you have a specific question, definitely using that Q&A tab is going to be best because it allows us to easier keep track of that question as well as being able to answer it and make sure it was answered as well. All right, so with that, let's jump into some things. So we have been moving fast and furious here. Hopefully you Spaceball fans can understand this. We felt light speed is not fast enough to keep this stuff moving and put it out into Stratus as we're nearing rolling that out. We asked the team for ludicrous speed, and I really feel like that has been achieved. And hopefully in watching all of this today, you are going to feel the same. The project portal. This has a completely overhauled look that we just rolled out to production in Stratus yesterday, available for anyone to go in and start using it. You have access to Stratus when you go to the login page. You can click the Stratus beta and log in through there. I'm going to walk through and cover the features and what we've built into this brand new version that we're very proud of here with the project portal. And then Mike, a little later when we're jumping into Stratus things, will show you where you can find your portal link, add your new users and things like that for it. But really, when you think about the project portal, this is a priority for us because, as you can read behind me, what's been important to us with our new branding and our new mission is really making sure that you're connected to the people, projects, and profits that run your company. And so part of that connection is connecting with your customer. And that's what the customer portal is all about. How do you reduce friction of unknowns, information not being shared, time lag in emails or text messages back and forth, voicemails, all of those things? The project portal serves as the perfect hub that is always on tap, always ready for the customer to engage with it, to see the information about their project, what's going to happen, what has happened, photos, invoices, all of those things. As we go along, we've completely revamped what we used to have separate customer portal and vendor portal. We're in the middle now of morphing those just into one called the project portal. And when you invite the users, they will be given a certain level of access that determines whether they're a customer or a vendor on that project. We also have another role called consultant with it. So it's really just one, now branded the project portal. We started as mobile focused, right? When we envision your customers using this, for most people, if we think about our personal lives, it's on our phones. So with this, we really wanted to be mobile first with the design. And that's why everything we look at in my slides here are going to be the mobile designs. Since we are on computer, once I jump onto it, I'll be demoing this, how it looks on desktop as well. But our focus was, how is this easy to use, access what you want, a very clean and straightforward experience for that customer when they're on it on their phone. And lastly, we used what's called a magic link. If you've never used this before, once you've given access to your customer via their email, they drop in their email and they're emailed a link to log in. So no more remembering an additional password for one specific thing. This has a lot of different benefits to it, but a much easier process to logging in. So with the project portals, some of the highlights with it features a calendar, right? Where you're able to mark what events you want to show within the project portal to the customer. So they're able to see things like when a sales appointment is, when a site inspection is, when the project itself is taking place. They can tap on any of these. As we see, there's events here on the 3rd, the 8th, the 10th, and then the 13th and 14th. If I tap on any of those, I then get a modal window that shows me exactly any of the information that's taking place, the notes, the location, the time frame of what that is. So you're able to share the most important appointments, dates, production schedules with your customers. There's a notes section, so you're able to post updates. These are time-stamped, who's the person on the team that's leaving them, and we've now built them in a threaded like date and time order. So the most recent message is at the bottom, just like your text messages on your app. It puts everything in chronological order. That latest message is on the bottom, and then you can scroll back up through all the messages that are there. We went to this format one, just as I alluded to, this is a very common threaded conversation format. And two, definitely don't have a time frame, but as we get into the future, we will allow the customer to be able to post messages back. So you can have two-way communication that will be threaded in this, just like a text message as well, but now centralized within the project itself. That magic login link that we're talking about, this provides a more secure and easier format. So once you invite them, they get an invite email, and they can click that to log in, as you see from the right side of the screen. But when you have the project portal linked from your website, when they click that link, it'll just prompt them, log in your email, and it will send them the magic link. Our system already knows what project are they assigned to and associated with, and then it sends them the link to sign in. As you can see here, all of these elements are beautifully branded to the business. In this case, we're using Mountain View Exteriors as our example brand. So very easy to do that. So again, the highlights of this: no password, stronger security because a password can't be hacked, or people who use one password for all 50 of their login accounts, that gets hacked. Now you're vulnerable to every single piece. And there's no password reset request where somebody's asking for you. If their email is assigned to it, all they have to do is type in their email and they get that link to log in with it. So with that, I will jump out of my slides and we will take a look at what this looks like for the user. All right, so I'm in the web version of the app for the project portal. One, if you have multiple projects with that customer, those will be in the drop-down up top here. So if this customer also had a fence deck repair and install from our company, we're going to be able to have that, and it will have those calendar items and project information and everything else. So very easy. If there's multiple projects for a customer, they're going to be able to see that history or the current multiple projects that are going on. In the upper right, we see what is the status. This is pulling out from what is the status within Contractors Cloud along the lines of that. And then on our left side, they can get back to your website. Clicking the contact us page will list any of the contacts from your company that they have. So able to see if you have 1, 3, 5 that they should reach out to, phone number, email address available there by clicking the contact. Your mainline business phone number is always available for them. The Your Project page is kind of your home page. You are able to choose in the project what you want the cover photo to be. So that's going to appear here. Customer information, mailing address, project site address, if that's different or the same, project amount, what the total is, and whatever a balance might be, all display here. We then have the calendar that we're going to be able to, see exactly what's taking place. And again, I can click onto any of those items, and it'll then show me the details of that specific event.
Hey, Aaron, a quick question.
Yeah.
Is the link universal for everyone? The portal link?
Yes, there is a universal portal link. When Mike jumps in to the Stratus app, you will see that. It's basically for your company because it's themed, obviously, with your company logo and brand and that information. So that universal link is what you can link to. You can send it in an email if it's part of a template. You can link to it on your website for people to have access, but you will have that link that has some qualifiers on what the theme is in it, and we'll see that when Mike jumps in. Next one we'll take a look at is notes. So here's the notes section again. This is the latest note from yesterday at roughly 9:30 a.m. It's at the bottom. If we scroll up, we see the 2 previous ones. So even if there's 30, 40, 50 messages here, most recent is going to be what's on screen. And then you can scroll up through the history and the previous messages to see those. If we jump to invoices, it will now list out your invoices. We're automatically showing them the invoice date, amount paid, and balance, a note section as well. They can click to download this. Also download it by clicking this link. The invoice number or name is going to be linked for you as well. And then if you're using our payment provider basis, you're also going to have the pay button will be available here in the actions. Not to steal any thunder, we will have an announcement coming later in November on some enhancements and improvements that we'll have with Basis that have been some much demanded things around ACH and split payments. So there's some good news coming on that as well. So stay tuned to your email for that information. Jumping into photos. So you are able in Contractors Cloud, you can create albums either specifically for your portal or specific albums in there. You can choose to show those albums in the portal. So you're going to see a heading for the albums. We have a before photo album here. We have a completion photo album. So 2 different albums on the page. With any of these, I can go into them and click to see an enlarged version, captions, I can download. So a really easy way to organize photos and continue to add to them as the project moves along or comes to a close for the customer. In the web view, I can see the captions right on the screen, as well as when I click in mobile, it's going to show me the photos. The captions are only visible once you click to view the enlarged version on your phone. So able to see all of that information no matter what type of device you're on. And then lastly, documents. Anything that you might have here where you can upload. We have both a proposal section and any documents. So if there's any addendums, claim policies, things like that, all of those can be uploaded that then can be viewed and downloaded from here inside the portal. So again, everything you need to communicate on a project now has a very clean, simple, intuitive user interface to your company to look at. We look at this as a great ongoing touch point with your customers that you might start all the way from the proposal. When you send out the proposal, you might let them know you can always access this proposal here. So you're already starting the project portal from them right from the start when you give them that proposal and move forward from there, conditioning them that they can always access this as the project moves along, and you'll be adding notes and documents and photos and everything else with it. So we really put a lot of effort in this to make it look like a great offering that you're putting in front of them that represents your brand to the highest level. and makes that process as frictionless and as easy as possible for communication between you and the customer. So definitely very excited about that. Any other portal questions, Mike? Did we have pop up between chat or Q&A?
Nothing yet. Nope.
All right. That either means I did a good enough job of explaining it or no one is listening to me. I'm going to go with I did a great job, but I'm going to give myself some kudos for once.
Deal.
All right. So as I said, Project Portal is released, right? You do need to use Stratus to utilize it. It's not available in Classic because of the new invite system, Magic Link, the permissions, everything else is all built into that. Mike will again show us where we can access that when he drops in here shortly. But the good news is, right, you already have beta access to Stratus. Hopefully, some of you have checked it out. We have added a ton into Stratus, and we're really nearing I don't want to say the end because Stratus will continue to get improvements, but really our full launch and rollout. And we wanted to give you visibility into what this looks like for you as we move along here, because Stratus is the next generation of Contractors Cloud. The way we've architected it, greatly updated the tech stack and the things we're using inside it from the nearly 13 years ago that Contractors Cloud was originally created. Some of you are already aware and are using the API that is a huge part of Stratus being an open API so that we can continue to connect and integrate with more things. You can specifically do the same with custom things that you want to do. And we really know and understand that this next version of Stratus is our launching pad to all of the things we want to do for that connectivity to performance, consistency, efficiency, and we're really putting a lot of effort into that. So for us, a very major milestone is starting next month. Any new customers that we are talking to that come to us that are switching from another platform or just starting a new business, they are actually going to be going on Stratus. Stratus is mature enough and has the components needed by far and away for businesses to be utilizing it. So Mike and I are already starting to do demos now, and we're showing them Stratus. Our new customers don't even know that Classic exists. That they've missed out on all the fun and great things that Classic has produced over the decade plus. But Stratus is the version for Contractors Cloud. And so all of our new customers are now going on that. What's next is after we tidy that up, we're using our new customers in this new environment to button up some things. We'll also give you a sneak of some other things that are in progress. Is after we turn over to the Q1, the first of the year, January, February, you're going to hear from us, and we are going to do another webinar and outline Stratus even in further detail. And we will start to notify customers that we know are a great fit to start moving over to Stratus. Right, things are already synced. The database is synced between the two different interfaces, so you're able to use both simultaneously. But obviously, Stratus is the future. So as we go along, it's going to be moving and using Stratus for your everyday interface to interact with Contractors Cloud. So as we get into Q1, we will start doing that reach out. We will do that webinar, and we're able to go there. For some of you, if you want to in November, if you wanted to self-select, you can do that. And you can start using Stratus only as we release some of these new things that we get to in November with it as well. If you have specific questions on that, feel free to reach out to us, either to support at Contractors Cloud, or you can reach out to Mike directly to be able to ask if you're a good candidate to move over to it now. Happy to handle those questions on a one-by-one with you. And then after that, we will use Q2 and Q3 to kind of continue to do that phase transfer. So just know as we get into 2026, that is the transition that will be had. We have so many plans besides the things that you're going to see today that are really big improvements in functionality and the user experience. We're going to continue to add to those, and will be so moving forward. But obviously with that, we're not going to, these improvements aren't going into Classic. So to take advantage of those, the future is Stratus, and that's where we're going to be moving. But we wanted to share this high-level plan with you guys today. One, to understand how far along it is, to give you some concrete. It's far enough along. This is what we're putting new customers on starting next month. And again, we'll be sharing more with you on what that might look like for your company starting in Q1. So with that, we definitely have some great eye candy to look at today, things we want to get you excited about, give you a feel for what's represented in there. And so I'm going to turn it over to Mike, who's going to specifically look at these features, right? There's a ton of stuff that we've been working on, but really some big overhaul pieces have been the calendar, which has a number of elements to it. And with these things, we don't have time today to get to every last detail, but we're going to try to cover especially the big things. Feel free to ask some questions. We'll try to get as many of those answered. Our new email format, which is in a per project based with some really great benefits there. Photos and albums have definitely received an upgrade, polygons and maps. And then we are just in the middle of bringing a Kanban board view to the projects to go on top of both list and map view. So we're going to show a live look in on dev, which always a scary thing in our world when we jump into the dev environment, but excited to show where we're at with this. And over the next few weeks, we're going to be wrapping this up. And Kanban board will be the first default view when you come into it. A very powerful, well-organized view of Contractors Cloud and of your projects. All right, so I need to stop my share. So Mike, you can take over.
Perfect. Aaron, there's one question before I jump in. I think that's worth looking at. How long is the portal available to clients? Oh, so our customer's customer.
Oh, so the portal, as long as you give them access, their access is forever. There is a timing to their login, so they might have to re-request the magic link. Man, I'm sorry, I should know this off the top of my head, but we've had so much floating around between QAing everything. But there is like a block of hours. I can't remember if it's 48, 72, what it is. But their access when it's up in their browser lasts that long. But that information forever sits in that historically. So yeah, they can have access to that the whole time.
Perfect. All right. I'll get my screen up here and then I'm going to answer another question regarding that as well. Let me know if we can see that okay.
We gotcha.
Perfect. So, Anita, great question. If you give access to the portal or and they choose not to continue with you, let's say you're at the proposal section, or part of the process, you can absolutely turn off their access, so that you would remove them from that customer portal moving forward. I'm here in the project that we were looking at, in the portal itself. The portal has been, or the portal request, the portal invite area is listed now under the utilities within Stratus, and it's going to be under your project portal. So if you go to utilities and then project portal, you're going to see the portal link that Aaron had mentioned. So this would be the portal link themed with your company. That would be the link that you'd be able to embed on a website, send it to them directly, text to however you'd like to send it. And then beyond that, in order to actually invite somebody, very, very easy to do. We just click the little plus in the top right. We can then add their email, add their name, first name, last name, and then go ahead and decide what user type they are. So this will expand to be, our installer, our vendor portal as well, consultant too. But for now, it's the customer portal, customer access to the project portal, I should say. Once a user is invited, we can always resend an invite if an email fails and doesn't get it. The other thing that you can do is view the log. So you can actually see if that customer has been active and viewing things. So we can open up and just see, yep, they're in there. They're looking at documents. They've reviewed some things. Gives you some good visibility to just know that, if you sent a proposal in there, you think they have viewed it or think they haven't, you're able to kind of confirm that suspicion one way or the other. So very, very easy to invite people. And then again, very, very easy to just remove access if you would like to do so. So that's a great question there. I'm going to move on into a couple of other things now, just some new features that are available in Stratus today. I'm going to go back out to our dashboard look, and we're going to start with our global search. So you may have noticed in the recent months, we've made some changes to the global search. It's now powered by our API, and it's now allowed us to do some fuzzy searching and expand the, what it can do. In Stratus, we're taking it one step further. So the global search is actually becoming a lot more like a command center. So if we come up in here, the global search and click into it, you're going to see we get a nice modal that is actually our global search. So if I were to search, for Jonathan McBride, or if I got a character wrong, we're going to see it still, but it's not going to be highlighted yellow. We get some nice visuals in terms of just hovering over the project, seeing the project photo. We're going to be expanding or adding to the content of what you see there in that quick, that quick little hover and additional information. You can also see contacts, see their email, see their phone information if needed. So it is the global search, but it's also becoming the hub for tracking recent projects, seeing what you've been in lately, tracking favorite projects, and always having those as a very at a very easy, accessible area to get to them. And then it's also going to be the hub for you to do a lot of your main actions for things that we want to just do quickly and efficiently. Maybe I want to upload a file to a project, but I don't want to go all the way into it. So I can just click upload file, and then I can go ahead and search the project, upload that file as is right there without even having to go into it. Same with creating a new lead, creating an email from a project, creating an appointment, which are both brand new systems in Stratus here that we'll take a look at. So essentially, we just wanted to give you an area that allows you to search for things, find things, keep stuff close that you've been in recently and that you've indicated is your favorite, and then also give you your actions list kind of in one condensed area without a bunch of buttons in order to do those different things, listed without just on your main home screen. So that's one major upgrade here within the global search. And then we're going to take a look at our couple new systems that are in Stratus. So one of those is our calendar system. So with Stratus, again, being built primarily through an API, we have a brand new calendar system inside of Stratus. So this is a month view of the different appointments that we have spanning for the month of October. A couple things that we're able to do now is, again, instead of going into a project and searching for that project's calendar, or having to go into it, I should say, again, we can go ahead and search a specific project and only see the appointments for that one specific project. We can also search or just get a very quick and easy view of different users and their user color and what appointments they have set or what appointments correlate on this calendar with your users. So if I were to scroll down here to John, you'll see all of John's are going to highlight in yellow. If I go over to Mike, they're green. And then if I look at John Smith, he's got one here. That's actually a shared appointment. So you see two colors on that side. If you click on a name, now you're getting only appointments that that person or that user is an attendee on. So we can, again, expand it that way. So we're just, increasing the flexibility you have with filtering for your different appointments. We can very easily select and deselect those users to see what we need to do. And we also have added the concept of a placeholder appointment. So you may have times available that you want to set an appointment or an available sales appointment. We don't have a client available for that spot yet, a lead, it's just kind of a standard practice that we might throw that in there. So we do have the concept of a placeholder appointment that we've added as well. So these two here that are kind of dashed out are going to tell us that we have we have a placeholding appointment that could be given to a client. Or if I just click into a date, we can set a sales appointment. We don't have to have a project associated with it. We can just set our date and our time. We can set placeholder. And then if I create this appointment, that's just going to create a placeholding appointment within that company. So one of the great things about that is we can then just click on an existing one, edit it, and then we can give it to a client, right? So I can now give it to that client. We can adjust anything that we need to, and then we can go ahead and just invite or give them access to an email invitation for that. So I'm going to put John McBride and John Bryan on that one. We're going to remove it as a placeholder status, and I'm going to update that appointment. Everything that we do now in the new appointment system is going to give you're the option or the control over if you want to send invites or not, just like a Gmail or just like a Outlook calendar would. So we can go ahead and send those or not. And then once that's placed, now it's converted into an actual sales appointment. The nice thing with the new invite system is that it's compatible with everything, right? So if you use Google, if you use Outlook, if you use iCalendar, we're going to send that email invitation in the correct format that you're going to be able to use, and then push it onto your calendar. Another great thing with the kind of universal language that we're using here is that we're able to, however you want to filter this calendar, we can do an integration essentially to get the URL for this calendar. And things like Google, things like Outlook, they're going to have a place where you can go ahead, paste the URL, and then get this calendar to just show up as an additional calendar within whatever email platform or calendar platform that you're using. Final thing on the calendars before I'll move on is just that we now are giving the concept of an event to more than just a user-based appointment. So in Classic, you probably have known we've got the production calendar, that's your work orders, that's your material order drops. That's kind of a separate area from the user-based appointments and calendars. So in Stratus, we're giving the concept of an event to a user-based appointment as well as a work order or a task or a material order. So as you create those, you can then create an event to go along with them and get those onto your calendars. So we could see, like, for example, I just want to see work order based appointments. Now I can see on this calendar everything that's a work order based. And if I were to use that integration of this calendar onto a Google Calendar, that's now basically just going to give us a Google Calendar of all the work orders that end up being scheduled throughout time within that particular company or within that set of filtering. So very, very cool. Lots of new stuff coming there. We also are going to be building a new appointment scheduler and looking at building a new whiteboard for the production side of things and a more detailed look there as well. But lots of cool things coming down the pipeline and that are already available for you on the calendar side of things.
Yeah, Mike, since you're talking calendar, Lennet had a question. When will we be able to enter appointments on the app? You kind of alluded to that. But Lennet, it is pretty close to fully built. Stay tuned for it'll come down to when we're able to do like a next release for the mobile app with some of the other things and improvements going into the mobile app as well. But that is coming. It's far enough down the road where majority of it has been built. We just need to figure out some of the final pieces and scheduling a release. So that is coming.
And to piggyback off that too, just the concept that the calendar now runs through the API, that does allow us to have external sources, lead generation softwares, anything like that, to create appointments inside of Contractors Cloud as well. So leads that you might have being pushed automatically into Contractors Cloud, those could be creating an appointment as well through the API. If you'd like to see the documentation, that's all on our website. But you're able to definitely make that happen as well. Final piece on just the calendar. If we go into a project here, one of the cool things about those placeholder appointments then too is if you're actually in a particular project, there is an option then to include those global placeholders. So any of those placeholder appointments that you've set, you've got access to within a project calendar to be able to go ahead and flip that into a confirmed appointment for that customer. As long as we're in the project, I'm going to kind of walk into another new system that we have, and that's our email system. So the project email system inside of Stratus has been overhauled. What used to be your email at ccloudmail.com is no longer, and now every single project gets its own email address within Contractors Cloud. So very, very cool that it's project specific now. So that means if I were to create an email, so if I were to open up a draft, this is a brand new interface as well. You're able to store drafts. As soon as you create a new email, you're going to be automatically CC'd on that email as well. But if I were to go ahead and create a draft, type something out, I can then add my attachments to it. You're now able to upload attachments if you have them externally stored. If it's project files, project photos, you can certainly grab those as well and bring them in. But one of the cool things about the new system then is when we send out an email and they send something back to us. So here's an example of one more photo needed, right? So I reached out to the homeowner, say, hey, we need one more photo for it to get this over the finish line in terms of supplementing or approval or something like that. Customer replies back to that email address with the attachment of that photo. Well, that photo then is now added to the project photos inside of Contractors Cloud. So no more, they send it to you. Now you got to download it, re-upload it. It's just automatically there from just from that project-based email system. So I don't want to dive too much into this here, but basically we're able to create drafts now. You're able to, again, still use email templates and just know that anything that you're sending out is going to be, something that replies to come back in as well as, files or photo attachments that the client gives you as well. That example of bringing a photo back kind of brings us into the photos section. So if I look under photos files, the photos and files of Stratus have been redesigned. So one thing that we've done in the photos is we've split out your uploaded photos directly to Contractors Cloud from Company Cam. So if you're using Company Cam, you're able to easily identify one or the other. If I were to, click on a photo, this whole this whole UI, user interface, user experience has changed quite a bit. It's a lot more user friendly. So if I wanted to do something like update this to be the cover photo of that job, I can certainly do it. Instantly happens. If we wanted to, very easy to update captions or update descriptions. And then also very, very easy to create new photo albums too, right? So if I need to create a new album, I just want an album for all the photos of this project. Number of images per page. This is all similar to Classic. Again, we can decide if we want this shared on that customer portal or project portal as well. So I can decide share or not, create that album. And then once that album's created, we also have the ability now to just, multi-select. So I can, control, click and select, or I can drag and drop over certain ones, so I can go ahead and make sure I grab everything and just quickly move it, copy it into that photo album. So really, really great new interface there, and allows you to just move a heck of a lot quicker in the photos area than you did in the past. Another upgrade, kind of a mention to the files too. So we changed our uploader, recently made some updates. That should be moving faster, more lean. And then this is just kind of a small thing, but just visually, you're used to seeing all the folders when you go into the files of a project. And, what we're doing here is we're now hiding anything that doesn't have a file in it, right? So if we've got the estimates folder or the work order folder or anything like that, we're not going to show you that or kind of, bloat the screen with more to see if there's nothing to see there. So those folders are all still available if we were to upload, but we're just giving you a nice clean look at all the files that are actually uploaded within that project. Last thing that I'm going to kind of walk us through is the Polygon system, and then I'll dish it back to Aaron here. But if I were to go back out to our projects list, and we're looking at a map view. So this is a feature that was available in Rainmaker. It's been redesigned, meant to be a lot easier and just, quick, clean way to segment out different parts or different areas, of your territories and things like that. So we're in the projects tab here. We've got a new polygon system here. We also have overlays. So we've, been able to can again lay over like a hail watch swath. We could draw around this area if we needed to. We could draw around here and get all the projects within that particular that particular area. Or what we can do is remove that. You could treat this as something like, hey, we have a newer rep. I know they're working the West Metro area. So I'm going to create a polygon here. I'm just going to call this one the West Metro. We'll make it green, and then we can go ahead and just start clicking. So I'd say, okay, West Metro is going to be something like this, and go ahead and create it. That's now going to shrink, to show here's all the projects that we have within that set or within that area that we're selecting. It can be as many points as you need, get as fine as you need to. And then on the left hand, the filtering still kind of works the same. So the filter that we now have created for that polygon, the West Metro, shows up. And now I can also then say, okay, give me jobs that the primary rep is, our new guy, John. Now, if I wanted to look back at that list view, I can see three projects that fall within that border. And so, this is a feature that we've had in Rainmaker again, but the ease of use of it to be able to overlay those storms, create new polygons. You'll be able to get any subset of jobs that you need in a specific area. And then you're also then able to like export, right? So if you needed to get that into a CSV and pass it out to your reps to do a list of calls after a hailstorm or something like that, more than welcome to take full advantage of that feature. All that stuff that I just showed is available in Stratus today. So with that, that's kind of what I've got. I don't know if there's some questions or if Aaron, you're ready to take it back.
Yeah, I think I was able to answer a couple of the questions. We did pop up with the one. I was just going to say, yeah, if you guys have any feedback or excitement or anything you want to share in the chat, we'll gladly take that. Makes Mike and I feel like we're just not alone and talking to ourselves. Christina asked if the May webinar video can be found. It's on our blog, Christina. So if you go to contractorscloud.com, click on blog, and scroll that page there, you will find that video on Zapier. Happy to point you in that direction. All right. So a ton of great things there, Mike. Super excited that the calendar is just rounding out in a very big way, and all of the additions of that. The photos so much simpler, less clicks. The upload time is so much faster, and we've gotten some great feedback from customers utilizing that over the last handful of weeks. Robin, thanks for sharing that we rock and you love the new features in Stratus. We appreciate that. Thanks always for sharing your positivity. That's good fuel for us as we do these things and have been sharing them, here and there, but it's great to be able to bring these to light as an overall. So with that, another really big addition that I said, we are working on, that's currently in dev, that'll be in the product in the next few weeks for Stratus, is a Kanban board view. Just as Mike alluded to, as you were seeing while we were in there, we already have our list view. We have the map view that you can interact with. But we really wanted to bring a Kanban view to it to make something that's even more organized and action oriented to you. So this has a number of components. I will try to touch on as many of them as I can to wrap up our webinar today and still leave time for some questions on it. But a Kanban board, if you've never heard that term before, right? It's this kind of columned look that helps you understand how things move through a process. So you can see here what we call our 12 stages from lead all the way to closed, available as a column. And then each project that falls into that column is now a card within that column. Each card is going to have things like who is the customer. You can put in the project name for it as well, address. We're going to start tracking how long this project has been in this stage. So initially when this rolls out and you start using Stratus, everything will be at a 0 and go to 1 day because it's all new. We don't have the historical on how long it's been in that stage, but moving forward, you'll be able to identify that. And then there'll be some visual cues on how long certain things have been in there. So you're able to see like, oh, wow, this has been over 30 days in this stage. We should probably touch point on it, see what needs to be done next. So a nice visual cue within those days and some color changes that'll happen to that. You'll be able to see dollar volume associated with that project, who's assigned to that project. You'll see their avatars, and if there's more than 2 or 3, then you'll see the plus on how many more there as well. We're totaling up what's in the column, so how many deals exist inside, how many projects are inside of those columns, and what's their dollar amount that's in that stage as well. So, and you're able to scroll left to right to see all of those within it. This Kanban view, the way it is put together, this is going to be available only in the web app. As you can see, it's very visual. It takes up a lot of real estate and canvas. So when you're in the mobile app, it's going to be list view, or when you're on web mobile, it's going to be in list view and map, but this is available on the web app. So in addition to that 12-stage view, we also have a 4-stage that basically condenses those 12 into these overarching stages. So if you just want to look what's in sales that hasn't been signed off on, this is going to tell you what's in sales. What's in production of pre-production, production, post-production, that's going to be in production. What's in the payment and awaiting payment, and what's closed. So just within one click, you can go from looking at a macro view to a micro view on, how do these fit into these specific high-level stages on where things are at with it. How you're seeing things in the column, right? When we have lots, right? We have over 400 in here. You are able to scroll down through these, and then it will just continue to load more, about 30 to 40 projects at a time as you go through them. You are able to choose, and we still need to round this out more, but you'll be able to sort whether you want it to be ascending or descending by a number of different categories. How long it's been in there, dollar amount when the project was created. So right now it's ascending by project creation date. I can change it to descending, and now it'll reorder them by, the reverse order of what it was before. So all of those are coming. We can do it alphabetical by project name. So just a number of different things that will be added in the sort by, so you can quickly and easily arrange that information on how you want to see it. We have also completely rebuilt the filtering. So instead of being that left side bar, we're now moving to a tray that basically has all of the same settings. And now we have the room, and we'll be able to add even more to it. So if I just wanted to specifically look at 3 specific stages on what we're looking at, and you'll see now that it reduces how many our total projects are. So when you saw this before, I had nothing selected. We have 563 projects. If I just want to look at what's in prospect, inspection, demo, and estimate proposal, I see these filters are applied. I can remove them if I want. And we see we're now down to 78 projects. If I also want to add within this what's assigned to John Smith, it's now just 31 projects. And I can see all of these filters that are assigned with it. So you're able to use those filters at any time to any number, and then it'll just show the information and criteria that meets those filters that you have. At any time, I can reset and remove them all. I could click and remove them one by one, but really a very easy way to switch. If you have multiple companies, you can switch between that. So everything that was in that left sidebar and more is now being added into this filtering system. And then even when I go to the list view, I can now use that filtering system for the list view as well. So if I want to come in here and look at everything that has a project manager role, we see it moves down to 307 projects, and those are what's available here in the list view as well. So very easy to use that new filtering system, and gives us some great framework and groundwork to be able to continue to build on top of that. We're really excited about this Kanban view. This is something that people have talked about, and something that we see and notice in other types of software that are being used. So you'll be able to utilize this in Stratus. Like I said, over the coming weeks is when this will roll into the product. It's in dev. Some last features and elements are being added, and we're testing it and things like that. But what a great way to visualize what is in your pipeline, what you're working on, being able to zoom in on specific things, to see the volume by what you're filtering by, the sorting for what you want to place up higher on the screen and want to see. So just a whole lot of improvements and actionable items that can be done here with the Kanban board. So really excited about that. All right, Mike, any questions pop in while we were walking through those items?
Just mostly one. So, will each company have its own board if we have multiple companies within the cloud? Are we able to see them in a global board?
Yep. So no to the global board, but yes to each company. So just as when we pick those filters, we have the company filter. So me as a user have access to do two different ones. So I can click into that at any time. And now I'm viewing the ones for that other company.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully that gets you really excited. And again, just provides a little bit of, this is so much of what we've been working on here over 2025, seeing the light of day now. As we talked about, our new customers are going on it. And so we're really excited about that. We will be reaching out with messaging in another webinar to start the year when we feel like it's ready and suited for our current customer base to start making the move over. Again, you already have access and can utilize these things, the project portal, new photos, everything else by clicking on that link. So you can kind of self-select to start using these elements and items now and use them in conjunction with the things you're doing in Classic. But obviously the goal as we move into 2026 is a full move over where Stratus is all that you live and do your work in every day. And that's where we'll be introducing all types of new features and continuing to build off of all this stuff as we move on to the future. So with that, I guess I just like to ask any final or closing questions that Mike and I can answer for you guys while we have everyone on here.
I see one here. Will clients be notified when we add or delete things in the project portal?
Sorry, I missed that, Mike.
Oh, so will clients be notified when we add or delete things in the project portal? So when our client adds or deletes things.
Yeah, not currently, but that is the future plan, is building in some notification systems into the portal as well. So like a simple one to look at that would probably be our next step is when they go into the portal, we will actually like highlight a notification on what's new where, right? So if there's new photos added, you would see like 4 photos were added in the navigation next to that item. So it'd be like a green dot over there on the menu. If they're on mobile, the menu button would have a green dot. When they rolled that down, then they would then see the notification next to that. So yeah, we're definitely planning on how can we highlight for the user something's changed somewhere, go ahead and take a look at. So that would likely be the first step of notifications that will be coming.
Awesome. Another one here. Is there a Gantt chart planned at all? I love the Kanban. Also need to manage production phase as the sales phase.
Yeah, so we don't have Gantt chart planned for this right now. We do have some plans around whiteboard and some of those elements that we will be working on probably starting in Q1. So there are some things along that are planned. We'd probably have to understand some specifics more to know if that's aligning with what you're specifically looking for. But we do have things for the production process that's being planned. Is there anything you want to add to that, Mike?
No, I would just say that would definitely be something we'd be exploring with the redesign of the whiteboard. It's kind of a different, different core. The work order is kind of the root of all that, so we can be a little more creative with the, or just a little different with what we can do on the work order side of things.
Yep.
A question from Sarah. Where can I log into Stratus? So you're able to log into Stratus right now. Whenever you get to your typical login screen, the actual sign-in page where you're entering your email and password, there's a link just below that that will take you into Stratus. So same login, same database as Aaron had mentioned earlier. So the data is live between the two of them. Feel free to get in there and play around with it.
Vanessa, I see you asked, will the company name Contractors Cloud change? No, we're not changing the company name. you saw we updated our branding this year, right? We've leaned into our new brand and all those elements with it, and excited about everything with that. It's really helped us focus our mission and what we're doing too. And I can understand maybe some of this comes from, right? Like we're calling these versions of the software names. And ultimately, it's just to help understand because with the amount of time and the things gone on, this is a very major jump, right? For some companies, they would call it version 1 and version 2 and things like that. Just at Contractors Cloud, we decided as far as names, the current version is what's known as Classic. Stratus is that next version. Kind of moving forward from that, most people will only know Contractors Cloud as Contractors Cloud. This is our app. There isn't a name to it. We continue to add to that. But this jump being a very big one just because it started all the way from the ground up, because obviously technology changes really fast. And when you look at over a decade, there's a lot of work that we did, as I alluded to, both in architecture and the foundation, what's being used, how we're bringing that to light. And we're going to continue just to, iterate on that and continue to make it as valuable and beneficial as a product as we can for you guys every day. I see Lena asked, Mike, maybe you can answer this. In Rainmaker, there was a reoccurring appointment. Are we bringing that feature back?
That is something that's TBD. We have definitely kicked it around, and it's been through some different phases of development. So it is something that is definitely still on our radar.
All right. And let's see, I think, let's make sure if there's any others. Gavin, you asked future deliverable. Can you clarify what you're asking for with that? Be happy to elaborate on that one a little bit further if there's something specific. And yeah, I think for the most part, that's a wrap. We're coming up on the hour here. Again, we will get the video recap of this posted and a blog post posted to the blog tomorrow. So you can check that out or share it with anyone else on your team that you want to. Super appreciative of you guys joining us today. Sarah, thank you for saying thanks. That's great. Really happy to have you guys. We've been so excited to share all this information above. Oh, Gavin, you're asking to the question directly above. Let me see what that was. Future deliverable. Oh, the Gantt chart and that stuff. Like I said, we'll be working on that Q1 and deciding what features are in kind of that whiteboard and the production phase. So we will communicate that stuff. As you've seen this year, you have probably received, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 emails from us announcing webinars, sharing some of our blog posts and dives that we've done on those things. That will continue to ramp up because obviously this next version change has been a big chunk of work. But as we move forward, there'll be a lot more smaller iteration where things are being introduced into the product every couple of months instead of a much wider time frame. So we will be taking the time as we move forward in webinars like these, just as we're doing now, right? Kanban is not ready, but we're giving you a preview into that. We'll be sharing things that we've either designed so you can understand what we're building against, or things that are maybe in dev, as well as things that have just released. So we will have some tighter information on some of those things as we go along. The board being sorted by milestone. I'll definitely jot that down as a note because we're still in kind of refinement on some of those things. But I am making a note of that, Gavin, to see if that's feasible to add milestone as one of the sorting.
If you are speaking of the Kanban board, then the answer to that would be yeah. So it's not a column that's available on the board, but it is one of the filter options. Yep.
Okay. There you go. It's in filters. It's hard. Filter and sorting are two different things. So.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah. It's a filter. So, which is all good.
Yeah, good point.
All right. Anything you want to leave the people with, Mike?
No, I wish I'd have left them 30 seconds ago, to be honest. I wouldn't have said that.
No, you're just fine, man. There's a lot to remember. There's a lot to remember for us always.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks everyone for joining us. We'll get that up. And yeah, you'll probably hear from us at least one more time before the end of the year as far as some email communication from us. But we're definitely looking forward to a great 2026 for all of you. And we're excited with how we're going to support that and all the things that we are bringing to you guys. So much of what we shared today and a ton more that we just don't have time for to fit into just a 1 hour call with you. So thanks so much. Take care and have a great rest of your week.